Here is something that will genuinely disturb you. The platforms you use every single day to stay connected with people are, according to mounting scientific evidence, making you more isolated, more anxious, and more emotionally dependent than any generation in recorded human history. And the people who built these platforms knew exactly what they were doing. Let's start with the numbers because they are staggering. In 2023, the U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy declared loneliness an official public health epidemic. Not a trend. Not a concern. An epidemic. He cited data showing that roughly half of American adults report measurable levels of loneliness, and that this loneliness carries the same mortality risk as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. 15 cigarettes. Every single day. Now here is where it gets deeply uncomfortable. Social media adoption and loneliness rates have tracked almost perfectly in parallel since 2012. That is not a coincidence. That is the year smartphones became truly ubiquitous and platforms like Instagram and Facebook shifted their entire business model toward maximizing what engineers internally called time on surface. Not connection. Not communication. Time on surface. Jean Twenge, a psychologist at San Diego State University, analyzed data from 1 million American teenagers between 2010 and 2018. She found that teens who spent 5 or more hours daily on social media were 66% more likely to have at least one suicide risk factor compared to teens who spent only 1 hour per day. And the relationship was dose-dependent, meaning the more time spent, the worse the outcomes. But why does connection technology create disconnection? The answer lies in what researchers call social comparison theory combined with something called parasocial displacement. When you scroll through curated highlight reels of other people's lives, your brain does not register that you are seeing a performance. Your brain registers that other people are living richer, more exciting, more loved lives than you are. This triggers what neuroscientists at UCLA identified as the same neural pathways activated by physical pain. Social exclusion and social comparison literally hurt. And then there is parasocial displacement. This is the mechanism where shallow digital interactions begin substituting for deep in-person relationships. Every like, every comment, every reaction delivers a small neurochemical reward that temporarily satisfies the social hunger without actually nourishing it. Dr. Anna Lemke at Stanford describes social media as functioning like a slot machine for dopamine, where the unpredictable reward schedule creates compulsive checking behavior that crowds out the slower, harder work of building genuine intimacy. Meta's own internal research, which was leaked in 2021 by whistleblower Frances Haugen, showed that the company knew Instagram made body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. They had the data. They sat on it. They continued optimizing for engagement anyway because engagement equals advertising revenue. By 2024, screen time among adults aged 18 to 34 averaged 6 hours and 37 minutes per day across devices, according to data analytics firm App Annie. Think about that. 6.5 hours. If you sleep 8 hours and work 8 hours, you have essentially spent every remaining waking moment staring at a screen that is actively engineering your emotional responses. The Cambridge Handbook of the Psychology of Social Media published findings in 2022 showing that passive social media consumption, meaning scrolling without posting, is specifically correlated with decreased life satisfaction, increased envy, and reduced feelings of belonging. You feel lonelier watching other people connect than you would if you had simply been alone. So what do you actually do with this information? First, audit your passive versus active usage. Passive scrolling is the most damaging behavior. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling with one real phone call to someone you care about. The research is unambiguous that voice contact, even without video, dramatically outperforms digital text interaction for feelings of connection. Second, understand that notification systems are not designed for your benefit. They are designed to interrupt your attentional state at the moment you are most likely to re-engage. Turning off all non-essential notifications is not a productivity hack. It is a neurological defense strategy. Third, and this one is critical, recognize that the discomfort you feel when you put your phone down is withdrawal. It is a genuine physiological response. That discomfort is evidence that the dependency is real, which means breaking it requires intentional, sustained effort, not willpower applied once. The loneliness epidemic is not an accident. It is a business model. And the first step to protecting yourself is understanding exactly how the mechanism works.